What's going on, guys? Adam here with AmericanMuscle.com, and today I'm bringing you my detailed review of the Exedy Hydraulic Throwout Bearing and Slave Cylinder fitting all 11 to 16 GT and V6 engines. The Exedy Hydraulic Throwout Bearing and Slave Cylinder is going to be for all 11 to 16 GT and V6 owners who are looking to replace their old factory clutch with a new upgraded aftermarket clutch kit, or if you're experiencing some difficulties and wear on your current throwout bearing that are causing some issues with your gear engagement. Now, before you can look into buying a new hydraulic throwout bearing and slave cylinder, especially like this one from Exedy, it really helps to understand its function. The hydraulic throwout bearing and slave cylinder is a huge part of the clutch engagement. You can kind of say it's the whole heart of the operation. In a nutshell, when you press down the clutch pedal, the throwout bearing presses in the pressure plate's release fingers, disengaging the clutch, allowing you to change gears. You'll know it's time for a new throwout bearing or slave cylinder for your 11 to 16 GT or V6 when you're having trouble changing gears, if you're hearing a squealing noise coming from your transmission, or if you're noticing the one you currently have is leaking fluid or has an air leak. Another time it's highly recommended to upgrade your throwout bearing and slave cylinder is when you're upgrading from the OEM clutch to a new aftermarket clutch kit. Now, at that point, you would want to upgrade to something like the Exedy throwout bearing and slave cylinder because it's built to handle that extra force needed to operate the upgraded clutch. Now, if you decide not to upgrade your throwout bearing and slave cylinder when you upgrade to a new aftermarket clutch, you'll realize after a while you'll have rough clutch engagements and even eventually complete failure of your stock throwout bearing, at which point you'll have to drop your transmission and upgrade the whole new throwout bearing. The Exedy hydraulic throwout bearing and slave cylinder I have here today is a more heavy-duty application built to handle the upgraded clutch and flywheels for your vehicle, in which case you don't have to worry about it failing with the tougher clutch applications, and overall it's a more reliable part. Now, since the market isn't exactly full of hydraulic throwout bearing and slave cylinder options, and since Exedy pretty much eats, sleeps, and breathes everything clutch related, the $180 you'd be paying for this is pretty reasonable. The installation for this part is going to be pretty extensive and will require mechanical expertise. It will require you to drop the transmission, so if it's not something you're comfortable with, I'd highly recommend taking it to a professional just to get it done safely. Now, if you are the kind of pony owner that likes to do everything hands-on, you can expect to be spending a few hours doing this, especially if you decide to swap out your clutch and flywheel while you've got your trans out. That's always recommended. For this installation, swapping the hydraulic throwout bearing and slave cylinder out with this Exedy one is only going to take a couple of minutes. It's dropping the trans that's going to be difficult and time consuming. With that said, I definitely give it 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty scale, leaving this task for one of the pros. Just to quickly wrap things up, guys, if you're an 11 to 16 GT or V6 owner experiencing some difficulties with your throwout bearing, or if you just want to swap yours out while doing the clutch and flywheel, this here Exedy hydraulic throwout bearing and slave cylinder is available right here at AmericanMuscle.com.